Hey y'all, we are back with another dense update. Today's update is sponsored by CA Peptides. Here we go. Kale Layman. He is your last place finisher at the Mayhem Classic. He is also your 5th place finisher worldwide in the CrossFit Open. Now, Andrew Hiller was the first one to call Kale out.
5th in the Open, huh? That's impressive. Very impressive.
Kale was finishing last in every single workout and getting capped in several workouts. It's interesting, I went to his CrossFit Games profile. He is registered under the affiliate Black and Gold CrossFit, and Black and Gold CrossFit is located in West Point, New York. So let's say hypothetically he wanted to go team for that gym, his scores go towards that gym's performance. However, he performed the CrossFit Open workouts at a gym in Missouri called St. Robert, which is a little strange, but maybe just an oversight, or maybe it just didn't matter to him. His judge is listed as Skylar Johnston. She is not a registered judge. I couldn't find a games profile for this person. I did find one out of Australia, assuming that's not her. Basically, Andrew Hiller in this reel is like, Kale, you got to show us your open workouts, buddy. It's rare that an athlete does that well in the CrossFit Open and then goes on to finish dead last in an in-person qualifying event. As far as I know, Kale has not responded. Now, keeping it real, he's the meme guy that makes all the funny reels about high rocks. He took it one step further when Psycho ex-girlfriend contacted the gym in which he said he performed the workouts at, which was CrossFit St. Robert. And that gym basically said they had no idea who he was. They had no idea if he even did the workouts there, and they didn't know who the judge was. So, this is not a great look. Andrew Hiller puts up a video the other day talking about this more in depth. And it turns out that a team that he was supposed to be on at Wodapalooza.
You've been caught. You're a fraud, and you should just be owning that. One more thing. Had a couple of individuals who were supposed to be on a team with him at Wodapalooza in one of the past couple of seasons. They collect all of the videos when you're trying to qualify for the elite teams of Wodapalooza. When the team captain asked Cale for the videos, he ghosted him. But of course, Cale let him know that in the middle of recording one of the qualifiers, his phone battery died, or his freaking phone ran out of storage or something like that. Coincidentally, and you know how we don't believe in coincidences, Cale just could not provide said video. Oh, I got this time, and this time would qualify along with these weights would qualify in that qualifier for the team that was going, but when push came to shove and he had to provide the video, again, there was no video. Looks like a duck, quacks like a horse, sometimes it's a turtle. And
so the plot has thickened, and the question is now, because the internet is interneting and everyone is commenting on this. Few people have reached out in my DMs. They seem to think that he is guilty, that he is a fraud. There have been a few people that have come to his defense. A lot of different things come into play here, but all of this would really be laid to rest if Cale would just respond. Just throw up a reel, buddy, with your videos. I mean, I'm 44 years old. I'm in the Masters category, and I know I'm not going to make the semifinals, but I'm still videoing all my workouts. And I would say if you're an athlete that actually has games aspirations, you're definitely filming your workouts. What's it gonna be, Cale? You gotta talk to somebody. You are on the roster for Syndicate Crown. Another thing in that video, Andrew Hiller even did the final Echo Bike Bar Muscle Up workout, and he has Cale doing the workout up on the screen while Andrew is doing the workout in real time, no warm up, just takes his shirt off, goes right into it, and he even beats Cale in that workout. So again, the list is compiling of things that are not looking favorable for Cale at this point. Cale, I hope you respond. Were his open scores legit? Will CrossFit ask to see some of those videos? And speaking of Mayhem Classic, CrossFit Mayhem YouTube channel put out a 3-part series of behind the scenes. It goes through each day of the Classic. There's some footage in there of Jason Hopper and Colton Mertens talking in the athlete warm-up area. And Hopper's kind of being a little bit of a turd to Colton.
You did.
Show me.
It's literally on the tape. Behind the scenes
Show
check-in
me.
day.
Show me.
On the footage. Behind the scenes check-in day.
Show me.
What do you want?
Show me. Flashback to whatever receipt that he's pulling up.
Big boy workouts. Yeah.
You want me to say congratulations?
You didn't have to come over here. What are you doing over here?
Saying, hey. I want to know how much you paid Rich.
It kind of is making me think maybe there is a little animosity there with Jason. Maybe he is slightly a little bit jealous of all of the attention that Colton is getting. I mean, Colton is arguably the community fan favorite at this point.
Follow me on Instagram.
You're unbearable.
Address it, bro. Why'd you unfollow me on Instagram?
Is that really a hard question to answer?
I don't know, maybe Jason is really truly that misunderstood. After watching Hiller's video, it had kind of changed my mind about him. But then you watch some of these clips of behind the scenes and you're like, oh.
He wants camera time. He's got to have camera time.
First time
he
here.
He saw a camera out,
first time
so
here.
He's got to come in and get in the shot.
First time here. I'm just taking it all in. What I've seen is Rich snatch from there to there, and now to here.
I've been on that. Guess what? That's my bar. That's my bar. I own that spot. I own that.
Anyways, there's coverage of Rich at the ranch when doing Kill Taylor, Rich doing spectator workouts for Mayhem Mission. You can find all of those videos again on the CrossFit Mayhem YouTube channel. Now, Rich Froning also did an episode with Beat the Heat podcast. It's basically Todd Anderson hosts people in his sauna, asking Rich tons of questions. They talk about High Rocks, they talk about his history in CrossFit, religion, and then they get into one question in particular that everyone is talking about.
Let's say you wake up tomorrow.
Yep.
You're the CEO of CrossFit. You make all the calls.
Yep.
What are the first three things you do?
Oh man, man, you got to bring the community back. You have to. I think you've got to freeze it where it's at. Bring the money back and show there's some value to the name. There's just no value to the name. Freeze. You could freeze however long you decide, a couple years, year, two.
Now, some might just brush this off as, it's just a pipe dream. Whoever buys CrossFit isn't going to make Rich CEO, especially if it's private equity again. But as you guys all know, there are rumors there of a gentleman named Malik. Sousa has talked about this, went down a deep dive on LinkedIn and kind of pieced some puzzles together. Malik is putting a bid on CrossFit, and he was there on site at the Mayhem Classic. I did get a chance to meet him and speak with him a little bit. And it is very clear that he is very passionate about CrossFit, and he does have a very good relationship with Facundo, one of my favorite people, and Rich Froning. And they talked about this a little bit on the Rich Froning podcast before Mayhem Classic.
That's what I want to know. I hope we do know the person who has shown interest in buying CrossFit, and personally, I have to say that I find myself very close to the vision this person have, because it's pretty much that. It's very much someone who comes from the community, who had his good share of great experiences with it, and now wants to invest back
into the community.
And so, yeah, it's a real possibility. As a fan, as a longtime community member, if Rich Froning is the next CEO of CrossFit, we're going to be okay, you guys. I am hearing rumors that we're going to hear something within the next couple of weeks in regards to the sale of CrossFit. So my fingers are crossed. I am saying my prayers. Moving on. I noticed the Buttery Bros have posted a couple of reels of their time spent at Mayhem Classic, one in particular that caught the attention of a lot of people.
Remember when you fired them?
I didn't. What's this? Dave had our back. Dave tried to keep us.
Interesting. So I'm still trying to figure out why it is that you boycotted the CrossFit Open and you're a big part of the WFP now. A lot of the people involved in the WFP are friends and close friends with people of the PFAA. And you as well, for the first time in your history with CrossFit, didn't do the Open. And a lot of people didn't do that because the demands weren't met, because Dave wasn't fired. It says a lot about Dave's character. He obviously doesn't hold any animosity against the Buttery brothers for making that choice not to participate in the CrossFit Open or to even promote it for that fact, as they've done in the past every single year. Dave Castro, after returning from Mayhem, released his weekend review. He answered viewer comment questions. He talks about the CrossFit Open favoring small athletes. You guys, he goes down the leaderboard and he takes the top 10 on both sides and he gives you the height of all of the athletes. Look at Jason Hopper, Dallin Pepper, James Sprague. They're all close to 6 foot or taller. He talks about CrossFit recently drug testing 19 athletes, and all 19 athletes passed with flying colors, so nothing to report there. Dave has also started up his athlete interviews. If you remember, just before the games last year, he did the series of interviewing every single athlete that qualified for the CrossFit Games. Immediately after returning home, he had Fee Sagafi on, which is really interesting because if you guys all remember, Fee is one of the people who signed the letter demanding for his job, for him to be fired, and she's one of the first people now to qualify for the CrossFit Games and sit down and do an interview with Dave.
Wow, thanks for sharing all of that. That's amazing.
Well, Dave, when he was in a dark spot in his life, the community that fucking he gave his life to and helped build more than probably anyone alive besides me, you asked for him to be fired during his darkest moment. So there's that. So I'm glad it brought light for you and you were able to pivot that light and beat him with it. That's cool.
They don't get into that. He doesn't bring it up. I wonder if it's something that they maybe discussed off camera. I don't think we'll ever get the answer to that, but I do find it interesting that someone who felt so strongly against Dave in the CrossFit Games is one of the first qualifiers to the games this year. I would hope at some point that some of these people, if they have kind of changed their stance on that they give Dave an apology. I think at the very least you owe him that. The Barbell Spin did a recap show of the Mayhem Classic. They actually had Abigail Dahman on. Really good stuff. Abigail talks about her experience at Mayhem Classic and her mindset going into it. She absolutely did not want to do an affiliate semifinal. She did not want to mess with that.
Yeah, I just kind of went in with the mindset of like, this is the only option. And I'm getting my games ticket no matter what. Like, there was no other.
She's a great all-around athlete. And she's a Texan, so can't go wrong there. Yeehaw. Danielle Brandon recently posted on her story. Somebody had commented on one of the posts saying Danielle Brandon is confirmed. I shit gold bars. That triggered her. She reposted and shared it to her story. Went on to explain why she would be ineligible to compete there if she does have to pull out.
Per previous story or previous slide, that means if I qualify through the in-person or in-affiliate semifinal or another semifinal, it means I am not allowed to go to syndicate. So before y'all get up in arms, if I'm not at the syndicate, now you know why.
I think Danielle probably got a little bit too much flack from pulling out of the Mayhem Classic and not really giving anybody a reason why the way that they did it last minute. Obviously, these comments are upsetting to her. If I had to guess, Dallin Pepper, Roman Krennikov, Jeffrey Adler, Danielle Brandon, Alexis Raptis, these are likely some athletes that are going to qualify through the in-affiliate semifinal, which means that those spots will be backfilled. And speaking of Syndicate Crown, there's teams competing, pairs competing. I've seen a little bit of the schedule. There won't be a ton of overlap. So if you wanted to compete in the team division or the pair division, there are still spots available. Right now, if you use the code DENSE10, you can get 10% off your team registration. You can get all the information for the teams, for the pairs on the Syndicate Crown Instagram channel. It is going to be a great time. No matter who is competing there, we're all going to be there. And we're a lot of freaking fun. So a lot of people have asked, okay, why are you upset with WFP? They're not competing with CrossFit any more than Metfix is competing with CrossFit. And up until now, that was kind of the sentiment coming from Metfix. They're not competing with CrossFit. But I did notice this recently posted to their Instagram page, Greg call with affiliates and the academy team. Now you're probably thinking, who cares? Why does that matter? The problem is the people who are in the photo and the people who are said to have been there who are on the academy team. These are high-level CrossFit seminar staff people, one of which I met at the Metfix event at Greg's house in January. Pablo, really amazing guy out of San Antonio. He's been on the seminar staff for years. Peter Shaw, Joe DeGain, Drake Sladkey, Todd Ochito, Jesse Ward, and Hollis Malloy. Now, these are all longtime seminar staff members. So I guess the question is, what are they doing there on the academy team? Are they working for Metfix BSI now and also working for CrossFit? That could potentially be a conflict of interest. Are they just consulting? What is this academy team? I mean, are they developing a seminar that will compete with the L1? Why else would you need those people? Are they concerned with their future at CrossFit? Are they concerned about the potential for new ownership? Are they worried about their jobs? Or is it just true loyalty to Greg and wanting to be a part of something that he is doing? I mean, look what he did with CrossFit. You can't argue. It is the pinnacle of fitness and wellness globally, but I would be curious to know what's going on there. I did post a weekly update of the World Fitness Project Tour Event 1 registration numbers for the teams and pairs. They have added the Challenger leaderboard as well. They've got about 16 men and 17 women registered, I believe, for the Challenger division. I can't help it with the circus music, you guys. It's a show, it's an exhibition. Nobody really genuinely had to earn it except for the challengers. So to me, it's gonna be a circus show, and I'm gonna be there to catch it all live so I can see how everything goes down and report that information back to you. That is all for this dense update. Be sure to leave us a comment, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And of course, if you're into this sort of thing, head over to my Instagram page where you can follow me there for all the latest happenings in the CrossFit community.